All right, hey everyone, Michaela and Lana here. So I'm super excited for today because I get to introduce you to Lana. I've known Lana, I think, plus 5 or 6 years, and I can honestly say I want to be where I'm at without her help. She's been a great mentor in my life, and so I'm so excited to introduce you not only so you get to learn a little bit about what she does and who she is, but also because she's going to be at the retreat doing some really cool stuff, the water breath ceremony and the breath ceremony. And so I first wanted to introduce yourself. So Lana, if you just want to kind of tell a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump into the water breath.
Yes. Yeah, I have been working with people for over 25 years. I'm a clinical social worker and also have been working with Native American ceremonies for half my life now. I work with plant medicine, and then I also do breath work. And I've got a teepee in my backyard, and we do monthly medicine ceremonies. We do monthly breath work, and we also get to do the water breath when we have retreat. So that I'm really excited that we get to do that.
For this, we'll jump into the water breath. And so during the retreat, we will be doing the breath ceremony first. That'll be for the first night on Thursday to really help people. What I like to say is like just take off the baggage backpack, right? Like that breath really helps you do the kind of emotional release, and then we'll go to bed that night, and then you'll be able to integrate that a little bit, but you'll really feel like rested and opened, and I guess a little like more emotionally free to be able to receive kind of the rest of the retreat. And so just if you want to talk a little bit about like the breath ceremony.
Yeah, let me talk about, so the breath ceremony, what we do is we have everyone lay on their back, and we do what's called a charged breath. There's lots of breaths that people can experience. This is the one that we do. And it's a charged breath where you breathe in and out through your mouth. And it's like a, and if you start doing that, you'll start feeling kind of like a charged area right here. And what happens is when we're in trauma, we stop breathing or we go really shallow, and the emotions and the energies get stuck. They don't get to be moved through and processed out. So when we're going into a breath and you have your eyes closed, and we have a little bit of music at the beginning, and then we have drums and rattles. And as you're breathing, you're going to notice that you're going to hit some spots, and those are the stuck energies, the stuck emotions, and they're going to start coming up. But this time we're going to breathe through it, and we're going to actually move them out of our body. And that can look like crying. It can look like screaming. It can look like tremors in your body, just involuntary shaking. That's really good. That's just trauma releasing from your body. Sometimes you'll feel like you want to like hit something, and you'll be able to hit a pillow, hit some cushions, move the energy out. Sometimes you'll want to like push, like have resistance. So someone you'll be able to put your arms up, and someone will press down, and so you'll be able to and like just breathe it and like push it out. So it's beautiful, it's powerful. Every breath is different, but what happens is as you just continue to breathe and continue to breathe, it's like just layers of energetic density, and emotions start coming up, and you're able to just release that. And when you're doing it in a group, and kind of like the louder it is, the better it is, because it just like gives everyone else permission to scream or cry or move their body, because everyone's eyes are closed, everyone's kind of in their own space, but it's the power of the circle, and that energy is kind of like moving it, and the drums are moving it, and the rattles are moving it, and we use our fans and sage and stuff like that. I mean, it's like moving and clearing that energy. So you do that breathing for about 45 minutes or so, and it's a really powerful experience. And some people don't have like a ton of emotions, but they almost go into like just like a really spiritual connection type space. But it's really, really powerful.
Yeah, and I think I've done the breath ceremony a few times, and each time, like you had mentioned, it's been very different. It's not the same experience. I mean, one time I even had like a past life regression almost. And so it's just like one was, I mean, it's different for everyone, but it's also could be different for you each time you do it. And so I think that's what's so profound is it's kind of like you never know what you're going to get. But I've never, or let me say that differently. I've always felt better afterwards. You know, like once we're done, it's just the release that has happened. And I'm always just like dumbfounded, like, wow, like I could get this much healing from breathing. Like just shocked. Like it's just, you know, like my breath's always there, but utilizing it in this way and connecting to it in such a safe space where we're held and we can be vulnerable. And it's really beautiful. And then the way you feel afterwards, you're just like, just shocked that, you know, I didn't take any I didn't do anything. Like I literally just breathed and I ended
just
up
your own breath. I mean, that's how powerful it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely. So that's why we're so excited to be starting I mean, of course we'll have dinner first, but then we'll jump into that. And it's like to be able to start that way so that you can really receive what's coming for you for the rest of the retreat in this like kind of clean slate almost, or like this
and it kind of opens up the channels, you know. It's like, okay, everything's like off, and it's like I'm open. I can go into the next couple days like being able to like really navigate, you know, the emotions and being able to be open to receive, you know, all of the information and downloads that you're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then the next powerful thing we're going to do, a lot of stuff we're breaking into smaller groups because, you know, we want everyone to kind of have that one-on-one support. And so when it's a larger group, sometimes maybe, you know, things can get a little lost. And so what we will do is have smaller groups, probably groups of 5, so that we can support them in each thing that we'll be doing. And then one of the things that you're going to be facilitating is the water breath. And until I witnessed it, I had no idea what a water breath meant. So I think a lot of people kind of, when I talk about it, that just goes over their head. So you just kind of want to explain what happens so they can get.
Yeah. And in this case, you know, sometimes we use a pool, but a lot of times, especially like in retreats, we have hot tubs accessible. So we're going to be in a hot tub. And what's going to happen is, and this is why I like working within the group. So everyone kind of has a role and everyone moves and supports each other during this. So we'll have someone with the drum just doing a heartbeat, boom, 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 boom. You know, we'll have sage going. And then I'll be in the hot tub and we'll have one of the participants help me as we someone lays back on the water and they're being held by myself and another person, and they're doing the same type of breathing. So and your eyes, like your ears and your eyes are back, so it's just your mouth and your nose that are above the water, and so your whole body is just being supported as you're breathing. And it's hot water or even warm water, you know. It starts to kind of activate. Whereas in a breath where you're breathing for 45 minutes, you won't be breathing for 45 minutes in the water because things just hit, you know, a lot faster. And so you start to breathe and you're being held. Sometimes I work different points if it's, you know, if you know, are okay with that. And I'll work different points in your body to just like to press down and do some release energy work. And then what will happen is we will turn you over to go in the water. So in the hot tub, you're going to take a deep breath in, like, and then you're going to go down into the water, and you'll have the hot tub. So you're pushing on one end and your feet are pushing on the other end, and you go down and you just scream. You can tone, but just like scream. Nobody can hear you. We can't hear you at all. So you go down and you take a deep breath and then and you're down there and you are like you go until like you have all of the your breath is out, and then you come up and then you go all the way down and then you keep doing that. You can only probably do that about 5 or 6 times if you're really like letting it out, and you're, you know, if you have a pool, you can thrash. If you're in the hot tub, you're pushing. And then after about like 5 or 6 of those, and you're like out of breath, right? You just release, and then you lay back and you're being held again. And then we do that process again. And so each time we kind of do, a turn in each of the directions. So you're releasing like 3 times, 3 or 4 times, and breathing. And then when you're done, someone helps you out, and you're able to sit and ground, and have some, like, a support person there if you need it. And then everyone kind of, changes. So the person that was holding is now the person breathing, and then someone else comes in and holds. And so everyone works together, as a group to support each other. It's really, really powerful. And the fact that you can just scream and let it out and know that, like, nobody can hear you. I mean, you're just like letting it out, and there's something about the water, and it's, like that mother energy. And some people have like rebirths, like going through like their own birth. And then we've had mothers that have gone through this process and gone through a birth of one of their children, that was like maybe a traumatic experience for them. And they're able to, move that energy. And it's not always about, birthing or being in the womb. Uh, like I said, everyone's is different every time, but it is probably, yeah, one of the most powerful processes, I think, outside of plant medicine, is this water breath, which I love to do. It's just, having access to the hot tub, the pool, and having the group, and it's an amazing experience.
Yeah. And I would even think, like, when you're describing it, I'm thinking of like you're being supported, you're in water, so there's like that sensory
Deprivation, yeah. Yeah.
And so it probably feels almost like a womb, right? With the
Yeah.
fluid and the support and the sound. Yeah. And so yeah, it's a different type of emotional release, especially it's like when you're a little kid and you're yelling into your pillow, no one can hear you. It's just it's a sound that just gets to come out of your body. But I think we forget that a lot of times trauma is released somatically. It's not about thinking through it. It's about, moving our body in a certain way. Yeah. And doing those releases. So yeah, I mean, I'm so excited that we have the breath, and also we get to experience, everyone gets to experience the water breath. So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add? I think that's
no, I mean, it's just, most people go in are like excited. Some people are nervous, to go in. And I think, within the group, the ones that are nervous can watch a couple, and the ones that are ready to go can go first, and just kind of, just be able to see that it is safe. You are being supported. I've worked with people that have had water trauma where they've, had near drowning incidents and stuff, or, really have a lot of fear of water, and they've all had amazing experiences. I mean, it's a beautiful, especially if you have that type of a trauma. It's really healing to be supported and be able to release, whatever that was, whatever that water trauma was as well. So
yeah, and I think what's a really important point to point out is that we're meeting everyone where they're at. So it's like, if you're not comfortable with something, or if it feels like it's too much, like, if this is all where we can meet you at your comfort zone, and not forcing you to do something that you're not comfortable with, but still saying, like, even though you feel a little scared, this is going to be beneficial, right? Like, if you're absolutely terrified, don't want to do it, like, fine, we're not going to force you to do anything. But there is a bit of that, like, fear is okay, and on the other side, it's just endless possibilities. So so thank you for spending some time with me today and jumping on this call. I'm so excited that we get to host this Transform Retreat together. So I will show an example of what a water breath ceremony looks like at the end of this. Yeah, this is one that Lana did a while back. And so we have a recording of a really beautiful water breath ceremony that I'll share with you guys. And if you haven't joined already, you can apply for the Transcend Retreat with the link that I'll put below. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Right.